What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel of Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. I am very excited. We have Simone Canego. She is an author and motivational speaker. She's also got a new best-selling book called The Extraordinary UnOrdinary You. And let me tell you something, reading her bio, she is extraordinary. So Simone, can you please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me here. I am a mom of six. I graduated from the University of Florida with a bachelor's and master's in accounting, and I'm a CPA. I learned early on that that was not where I wanted to be. I'm a storyteller, and so I'm a big believer in figuring out what you want.
Yeah,
And so that's where I am today. I just published my first book in October, and
that's exciting.
yeah, it was really exciting to kind of, go through the process and get that down on paper,
Yeah.
and finish the process.
Oh, Teddy's saying hi. He does make
Hi.
movements occasionally. So sorry, everybody. So what actually motivated you to write that book? So what I'm hearing from you is that you really believe in people living their purpose. So you found your purpose. You're lucky to have done that. And now you're doing something and letting the world know about it.
Yeah, so I'm 48 years old.
Oh my gosh,
It took,
don't look
thank you. It took me into my 40s to, really figure out my purpose, and some people, it takes them much longer, right? Like but for a long time, I think I struggled with the labels, struggled with who I was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Who people expected me to be versus who I wanted to be. And so really what my thoughts were with this book is that, I am an ordinary girl, right? I'm a mom. I do all kinds of things. I do the dishes, I do the laundry,
Yeah.
but I think it's really important to understand that we truly are all extraordinary. We all have it in us to do extraordinary things, and we all matter. And I think especially now, we're in such a time where we don't have these human connections, and it's a struggle.
Yeah. Big time.
But so, really the book is kind of like a collection of my stories, and really with the underlying theme of that I truly believe that you don't need to change yourself.
Yeah.
We don't need to change ourselves. We need to change the way we see ourselves. And we need to stop having, what other people say, what other people are doing impact how we live our lives.
I love that. Oh my gosh. I can totally resonate with that. And I think that that is a beautiful message to put out there because that's the whole reason why I started this podcast, because I just feel like so many times people get stuck in a box and they're afraid to step outside of what that expectation is. And people live such miserable lives because they haven't figured out or have the courage to step out of that box. And someone like you, someone like me that are actually living examples of doing that and just living on our own terms is a beautiful thing. It's actually, we're giving it a gift to other people to say, hey, it's okay to do this. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's important. It's not important for me, it's not important for anybody else to give me permission. It's myself giving me permission, saying, okay, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
This is not, if this isn't what you want, if this isn't what you love, if this isn't, this is, you have one life. Like
Yeah.
you have to pay attention to what you need. Obviously, I'm not saying be complacent. I'm not saying be a
No.
bad person. I'm saying I believe that when you realize what you want, and you actually impact the world around you in a positive way because you're confident in yourself, you're comfortable with yourself, and so the people around you are impacted by that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. You've got a lot of words of wisdom. So I actually see that you have some questions here that you're ready to answer. So actually let's like get a little fun because we were talking
Yeah.
about this before we jumped on and started recording. You climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. Can you talk a little about that experience and how it applies to leadership? Ooh.
Yeah, so I climbed Kilimanjaro in 2015. Yes, I had all six kids at that time,
Wow.
and I was 42 years old. And I had never climbed anything in my life. I've gone camping a couple of times.
It's a little different than camping.
But it's that piece of, I have people say to me, "Oh, I could never do that." And my
Yeah,
response is, "Do you want to do that?" And they're like, "No, I would never want to do that." And I said, "So it's not that you can't do it, it's that you
right.
don't want to do it." That's like a totally different thing for me.
Yeah.
So I had the opportunity, a friend of ours had climbed it the year before, and he called my husband and said, "Do you have any interest in doing this? Livestrong is going to put a team together again for, the next year." And my husband, my story goes, 1, 2, 3, no, thank you, call Simone. His story goes, "No, I don't think this is on my bucket list." I was like, "Okay, whatever
Yeah.
story you want." And I said yes. And I said, "You know what? I love challenges,
Yeah.
mental, physical, probably more mental than physical for me, but I really do like challenging myself. And a challenge like this is something, it's unlike anything I've done,
Oh,
honestly.
I can
Um,
imagine. Yeah.
yeah. But I'm a big believer in, the mental toughness aspect of, life, and really, you know, kind of challenging yourself in ways that, no one would expect you to do. And again, who cares what anybody expects, right? So like, do things because you want to do it. And I did this, and I went with 16 strangers, which adds a whole nother level to it. But honestly, the most amazing people that I could have gone with for this kind of journey.
Yeah.
And, there were several people who were cancer survivors, other people that were climbing in honor of a friend or a family member currently in treatment, or that had passed from cancer. And so it was really special to kind of had that common bond, that common goal.
Yeah.
Um, and, I,
Did you
you know,
guys
I,
all train together? Did you guys, was it like a group
mm,
training or no? They from
ah,
all over.
yeah, from all over the country, and we
Oh,
just did our
wow.
own, yeah, we did our own thing. So, and I didn't meet anybody. Like, we had a couple of conversations, like a Facebook group,
Sure. Yeah.
before we left, but I was kind of like, I did my research, what I thought I needed to do. I live in Florida. Okay, like we have two hills in my
Yeah.
city, and they're like not very big.
I know
So
Florida. My mom's out there right now. She's lucky.
yeah, yeah,
Chicago.
the weather is beautiful. But I had to kind of get creative on how I did my training, and I
Yeah,
bought this elevation training mask. I had like this thing that you could adjust the valves on
sure.
the side that would limit the amount of air. So you'd really have to suck in the air through your lungs and kind of build lung capacity. And
Yeah.
so, everybody did their own training, and then we met up in, Tanzania, and started the climb. And really kind of, when you talk about leadership in general, I mean, you think about leadership, and you can get frustrated at things, and you're in a boardroom and you finish and you go back to your office.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go when you're climbing a mountain, right? You have to
Right.
really figure out how to do this together, and make those decisions of, are we, or if one person gets stuck, are
Yeah.
we all stopping? Or if one person slows down, do we all slow down? Those kind of pieces of decision making, that in this kind of situation, I'm not going to say life and death, because we never felt it like that, but that really truly impacts the entire team.
Sure.
And yeah, it was amazing, and we did all make it to the summit. Lots of great stories along the way, and people that I am still in contact with and close with today,
I
because it was
bet.
such a life-changing
Yeah.
experience.
I can only imagine. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, there's a part of me that thinks that I want to try it because I am a very athletic person. But there's other part of me that I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
Because how long does it take you? How long is that climb?
So ours was 5 days up, 2 days down. And so we did a longer route so that, you could really, climatize and get used to, the elevation as you went. You know, uh, and yeah, it was gone for basically 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer than 2 weeks.
That's a
From
commitment.
Yeah, it
That's a
was a
short-term relationship.
yes, for sure. It was a commitment. It was a commitment for my entire family, right? Like,
Yeah,
okay,
for
like,
sure.
um, but I think it's an important piece too to say that, like, there are these moments in our lives where we need to do things for ourselves. I had someone say to me that, we're you think of moms and you think of them always being selfless, and
Right.
a trip like this sounds a little selfish. And she said it in the best possible way. And I said, I agree 100%, but
Yeah.
we have to do these things
Yeah.
for ourselves because, you know, I want my kids to see that they can do the things that they want to do, you
Oh
know,
my
and
gosh,
that
it's
they're
gonna be fun.
capable.
I love that. I totally
And
agree.
yeah, so, you know, and so I see these things that, you know, the time that I take away for, you know, certain pieces. Right now I've been home, like, you know, constantly. So the
Yeah.
kids are like, are you going somewhere?
They're like,
Like,
get out of here, get out of our hair. We like it when you're selfish.
yeah, exactly. Go be a little bit more selfish. But you know, I think that those are really important moments,
Yeah.
and understanding that, you know, you have self-care is really important.
It's all about
And
personal growth though too, because you are growing on that journey. You're growing. Whenever you commit yourself to something like that, uh, I feel like when I do that, like I grow and it helps me become a better person. So I think it's necessary.
yeah. Yeah, and I always, from when the kids were little, if I, you know, had somewhere that I was going to go or do something, it was always that, you know, I feel like a better person when
Yeah.
I come back, when I have some time for myself. And okay, call me selfish. Like and it's a good selfish. Like, again, I think we all have to, you know, care for ourselves as well. It's so important.
Yeah. And you come back and you're like, oh, I like you kids again.
Oh, I really like you guys. I'm going to like you even better after the next trip.
Oh my goodness, you're awesome. So where can people follow you and support you and just get to know you a little bit better if they want to find your book? Can you plug some of your links for the audience?
Yeah. So I'm the only Simone Canego in the world, which is kind of exciting,
Are
actually.
you
Although
serious?
yeah, no, yeah, I'm serious. So I think if that I know of, that's on,
Yeah.
like, you know,
Okay.
social media. So I have a feeling someone's just going to have a kid and name them Simone Canego just to, you
Right.
know, because they want to, you know,
It is.
everything
It is a unique name. I like it. It's pretty. I
Yeah,
like it.
thank you. Yeah. So my website is simonecanego.com. I'm on Instagram, author Simone Canego. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. And, you know, I love talking about my journey, my kids, you know,
Yeah.
our adoptions, because I feel like if I can impact, you know, one person, then I've done my job. So,
Absolutely. Well, maybe I can have you back and we can talk about the adoption aspect because I think that would be helpful for some of our audience. You know, like someone like
yeah.
me that would still like to have kids, but my husband passed away 5 years ago, so that didn't
I'm
happen.
sorry.
But I mean, I'd be
Sorry.
interested to understand about that process because I don't
Yeah.
know anything about it, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people that would like to hear that too. So, any final words you'd like to leave with the audience?
You know, I think really for me, the most important thing is really understanding that you matter, that that the things that you do every day really do inspire people around you. And it's those little things. You don't have to be the celebrity on stage. You have to be you. And I think that's such an important thing for all of us to remember, and especially now. So,
Completely agree. Well,
yeah.
thank you so much, Simone. I will look forward to having you back and talking about other great topics that you're very knowledgeable on. But this is your host, Deanna Kuempel of Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I will be back with more dynamic guests very soon.